All right, this is going to be for packet 5, and this has to do with elevations. I'm going to run through some points on getting this set up for your elevations for all 4 sides. I'm going to do one side, but this will apply to all 4 sides of your custom home on the John Bullard project. So I'll run through these. I'll have to do this fairly quickly because this only allows me about 15 minutes to be able to upload this to the YouTube. So here we go. So what I did is I have a basic design here of this layout on this house. I just did the front side, as you can see, with the doors and windows, etc. So the first thing I recommended on the PowerPoint was to set up layers to control all this. You can see I have the numerous layers set up, 0 layer control lines all the way down through here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and turn off the interior items, turn those off. And that way it gives me a nice clean look here so I can just focus on that. The next thing I'm going to do is turn off my dimensions because I don't need those right now. The next thing I would do after I made a layer called control lines, I'm going to go ahead and turn this on now. I already started the control lines, and I'll walk you through this and explain this to you. So here are my control lines, and all this represents is the features, bringing the features down into this area. This line here is your horizontal control. And here you have your vertical control. So your horizontal control, as long as it goes beyond the parameters of the building, the corners or the ends of the building, you're fine on that. It doesn't have to be any set distance other than going beyond the limitations of the building. The other thing is your vertical control. I set this one here for myself at 15 feet. I did figuring on a 10-foot ceiling height and another 5 foot for the attic. For the ridge line. So I got that set up, and then I started drawing down the features, starting with the corner. I did both sides of this window here. I did both sides of the door, and then I can continue doing both sides of the window on here. So with that said, I'll continue on, and I'll do this off camera so we can get through this a little quicker. Okay, so I went ahead and drew all the lines down on this to give us an idea on what we're looking at as far as the features. So I'm going to go ahead and make one more layer, and I'm going to call this one the door and window layer. So I'll go ahead and leave that at white, and we should be good to go on that. And then I'll go ahead and make that line current. And I'm going to just go ahead and draw a line on top of the line here. Just a real short line. It will let me. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I use this line here for an offset. So bottom window, say it's 2 feet above the ground level, I'll put 2.5 feet, and offset 2.5, and offset that. Now, oops, yeah, there we go. I'm not sure if that was quite right, so go ahead and check that. That looks awfully. Yep, that's what I thought, 2.5 inches. Okay, so what I did here is I went ahead and did the offsets. I have the bottom window at 2 feet. I have the top window at another 3 feet from the bottom window. I have a 6.5 foot door height, and then I have a 15-foot top of ridge. And then what I did from there is I went ahead and I finished the control lines vertically, and then now all I have to do is draw these over where they intersect and just take a straight line. I could do an extension. I'm just going to go ahead and draw these all the way across, and that will be my top window, and this will be bottom of window. And I just went ahead and draw them all the way across. And then you can see where they intersect these vertical lines. That is where your window is actually going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and activate the window layer that I have. And I'll go ahead and outline the window with another line, some another line work. So there's the start of my window. And then I can do the same thing with the doors and the garage door and the other window here and just outline as I go on the different layers. And then when I get done, I can go ahead and, well, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and do my top plate, which this will be here, extend that over. And then when I'm done, I can go ahead and turn the layers off I don't need, such as the control lines. And this will be the start of my building. So one thing, as you can see, I forgot was the corners of the house here. So I need to go ahead and make another layer for the actual outline of the house. So that would be house corners. And I'm going to go ahead and make that a little bit of different color. Hopefully something you guys can see. And I'm going to go ahead and go with a dark brown on that. Go ahead and close my layers for right now. And then I'll make the house corners active and then draw another line right on top of this. And this goes again from the bottom of your control line, which is the bottom of your house layout. I'll go ahead and do the same thing on this other corner here. And you can do it on every corner that you have intersecting. So I have these different corners, and I missed one here on the control line, as you can see. Missed a couple of them, so I'll go ahead and switch back to my control layer and go do another line. Here, and I think there was one more here. And the reason you need these features is that you're going to be able to outline your house with these lines for corner of house. So I'll make this house corner again, and I'll go ahead and put these couple in here that we have. You must set up all these layers because you're gonna keep these items, but you're gonna turn things on and off as this keeps moving along. And don't ever delete your items on the layer. Keep them there so you can turn them on and off and be able to go back for reference on those as well. All right, I think I have almost had all the corners drawn in. All right, so I have all the corners drawn in and one window drawn in, and then you can start drawing. You can draw the baseline. You can go ahead and use the house corners as the same layer because it's just basically the outline of your house. Just go from one end to the other, and then you have that going. And then the other thing you want to do is, as I said in the previous PowerPoints, is go ahead and design a roof plan. So I did that already, and I'm going ahead and turn that layer on now. And I have the roof plan for this particular place. I laid out with the gable type roofs on this. So from that, you're going to be able to tell where your roof line is. And what we do need is top of plate. So I'll go ahead and set that. So what I did is I went ahead and extended this line over for my, this is my ridge line up here, and this will be my top plate here on this line. So now I have the parameters for the roof, and I went ahead and have a layer called roof for my elevations, or roof on elevations, and I'm going to go ahead and take that, and now I'm going to go ahead and create my first ridge line just by going into the line command. And it's going to start at the top plate here, and then I need to find the center point on my ridge here before I can do that. So I can just take my ridge line here, and I can just bring that right down all the way through here like that for right now, and then this will be the start of my, turn our ortho off, and this will be turn ortho off. And this will be the start of my ridge. Now coming back down to this point here. All right, and so that we have a window, we have a ridge line started on this section of the house, and again we can turn these things off, turn the control lines off, and let's see what other layer we got here. We have door and window control lines as well. This guy here, I just dragged that down so we can just put him back up here where he belongs right now because we're done with him. And of course we have some trimming and stuff to do, but there we have the start of this. And I can see I've offset my window too far to the right. I misread that. So that's why I say leave everything turned on, and that way you can come back and do adjustments. But that's how basically how you're going to do a wall elevation. And then what you're going to do after you do that, you're going to go ahead and take this elevation or take this floor plan, and you're just going to take it and rotate it 90 degrees. Hit the corner on it and then rotate it 90 degrees. And hopefully you saw what I did wrong on that. I didn't want to rotate it that way. So I want to rotate it this way. There we go. And now I would just move it over a little bit and start my next elevation on that and just keep rotating it after each time. So hopefully that will give you a good foundation to get started on the elevations and the mistakes I made on this first one. Again, the window is off-centered compared to where it was at. So if you have any questions, shoot me an email, but that will get you started on the 4 elevations that are due on packet number 5. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.